dark live broadcast from the boundary of the wilderness of the peak in Sri Lanka in a place called Demodara or close to Demodara. We're surrounded inevitably by tea estates, but there is some forest, including some pine or pinus plantations as they like to say here. The camera is facing in a kind of northwest direction, and it's actually quite a good place to catch the light of the rising sun somewhere there. As you can see, the view is a bit blocked. This is an area which is one of the last strongholds of an extremely rare and contracted bird, the white-headed starling. The white-headed starling is confined very largely to the wilderness of the peak and also to the Sabaragamuwa area. That's about it really. It has been detected in other forests, but it's mainly confined to this province. In the whole wide world, and it's represented by the single genus, it appears, which is an endemic genus to Sri Lanka. And it's actually not really been photographed that much, although it's still just about hanging on and it can be seen. And it's not really necessarily as difficult to see as certain other birds. I would say that the Sri Lanka whistling thrush and the green-billed cowcula are extremely difficult to see, although they are theoretically slightly more widespread. So this bird is highly restricted and one has to be in the right place at the right time to see it, as with so many other birds. So here we are picking up on the first bird song in the morning for a short time before the sun comes up and one has to resume, or I have to start doing some proper bird watching to see if I can possibly see this white-headed starling. I might not succeed, but it doesn't matter. Maybe I could come here again another time. The bird has been known in this area and certainly you can hear it audibly, although the problem is that its voice is very similar to that of the Sri Lanka grackle, also known as the Ceylon hill myna or Sri Lanka hill myna. But the Sri Lanka hill myna makes a cheep that is much louder and stronger than this white-headed starling. So right now the main singers are above my voice, that has to be said. The yellow-browed bulbul and also the spotted winged thrush or the spot-winged thrush. So the camera is now facing a stately fishtail palm that's probably cut periodically for its sweet sap to make a certain famous treacle and jaggery that they make here. Not really sure what that other big tree is. And so it's like fringes of forest and tea estate, and inevitably we will see a vehicle passing by. But having said that, this is only a short broadcast, so who knows. It looks like it's sunny on the camera, but actually it's still very dark and the sun has barely risen. There's east and there's the wilderness of the peak. So here is a tea shed where they gather the tea that's harvested. The temperature is a very pleasantly cool 24 degrees, I would say. Some Indian white ice nearby. So let's just catch that east where the sun is about to rise. And it's quite quick in this tropical area. The Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour, and therefore the sun is likely to rise that much faster. Indian white ice. The distant rumble may be of a electrical power station. So here we are facing the full glare of the east. Pinus plantations, tea, various palms around. It's 10 to 6. The Indian white-eye calling nearby, it used to be called the Oriental white-eye, but it's been split into a local species and a Southeast Asian species. Typical rainforest tree. Not sure about this one. And those ones are not rainforest trees, but this one probably is. Здравствуйте for you from Russia. Tea estate once again. It's noticeably brighter in the west or the northwest than the east where the sun is actually rising, or is it? It's certainly bluer, so it's better illuminated than this slightly false light. So you can see the mists in the distance over the wilderness of the peak. So if you can hear that scratchy bird noise, that probably is a blue magpie. Quite a few blue magpies around here. Cinnamon plantations. This is all cinnamon. The few plants one can identify with confidence. So 2 dead palm trees here, which will make excellent nesting for miners and grackles. These are the 2 dead palm trees. So we still can't see the sun. There's the mists towards the wilderness of the peak that is a little bit too maybe steep to be cultivated. I have this extremely destructive plant tea in front of us. Fishtail palm. So in the distance, brown-capped babblers. Sun still hasn't risen yet, at least not over this horizon. I'm sure it's risen over the horizon of the island, but here we are at a highland place. Five minutes to 6. It's actually a blue sky that we're facing. It's quite dry. It rains here very frequently. It's somewhat pink over there. Most birds don't start singing volubly until possibly about 6:15. And that crescendo might actually start getting a bit louder until probably I would say about 7:15. First yellow-fronted barbets have started singing. That's an edible plant with the white flowers. Salad. So what time will the sun show its face? Definitely a tropical rainforest tree, festooned with calamus rattan palm. Now the square-tailed bulbuls have started calling. Me, me. Precisely 6 o'clock now. Cinnamon plantations. Cinnamon. Sri Lanka hanging parrot. A tea shed where they will gather the tea harvest. And our beloved camera waiting for us on a rock. So with a view of this Fishnell palm and the sky of dawn, let us part in good faith until the next live broadcast from wherever.